Irritable bowel syndrome is another common issue of the small intestines. This tends to affect college-going students and older people more. This is now considered an urgent public health threat in the United States, and it can cause life-threatening diarrhea with permanent damage to your large colon. Hello everyone and namaskaram. This is Dr. Neha Garg here, a nephrologist and an aspiring yogi. Today's video is the first part of a 3-video series on your body's excretory mechanisms. In today's video, we will discuss how your digestive processes and the digestive tract works to process the food and water that we intake, and how it maintains a normal nutritional state, immunity, and helps with the expulsion of the solid waste. We will also discuss the Ayurvedic perspective and how more informed decisions about your food choices can help you deal with certain common problems of the gut. Digestive system begins from the mouth and ends at the anal canal. This is a 30 feet long tube that is lined with 100 trillion bacteria from over 1,000 species, and all of these are termed as the gut microbiome. They are essential to the normal functioning of your gut, and they also help in regulating the nutrient absorption, the hormonal systems, and your immune systems. The process of digestion begins in the mouth with moistening and breakdown of solid food. Amylase and lipase in the saliva, they help in the chemical breakdown of starches and fats. Next is the stomach, which acts as a food processor where all the mixing and churning of food occurs along with chemical breakdown of proteins. The gastric acid, which is the hydrochloric acid and has a pH as low as 2.0, is very important for this protein breakdown. This acid also helps in killing harmful bacteria and viruses that we may have ingested. It helps in the digestion of protein and in the absorption of iron, calcium, B12, and certain medications like your thyroid hormones. This churned acidic mixture, it is called chyme, and it is then passed on to the small colon where the main nutrient absorption occurs. So 2 common diseases related to changes in stomach acidity or stomach environment are as follows. Number 1 is the Clostridium difficile or the C. diff infection. So the infection, although it occurs in the large colon, but it is mainly related to changes in your stomach acidity. This is now considered an urgent public health threat in the United States, and it can cause life-threatening diarrhea with permanent damage to your large colon. There are 3 main risk factors for this infection. Number 1 being intake of strong or repeat courses of antibiotics, which kill the healthy bacteria, allowing overgrowth of harmful bacteria. The second risk factor is too many detergents, disinfectants, overuse of soap, hand sanitizers, which also kill the healthy gut bacteria. They alter your microbiome. The third and the most important risk factor is excessive intake of antacid medicines, especially the proton pump inhibitors or PPIs, which are medicines like omeprazole, pantoprazole, lansoprazole, your Nexium et al. So these medicines, they block the acid secretion completely, and they can raise the gastric pH from 2 to 6 within 3 to 4 hours. So under normal conditions, the pH of semi-digested food or chyme should be between 2 or 3. But chronic intake of PPIs, with that this becomes alkaline, and then that promotes overgrowth of harmful bacteria in the small intestine, which apart from C. diff infection is also linked to celiac disease or the leaky gut syndrome. The second chronic stomach issue is the H.pylori infection of the stomach, where the H.pylori bacteria, they start multiplying in the stomach lining, leading to gastritis and stomach ulcers. This H. pylori bacteria, it is able to create an alkaline ammonia surrounding around itself, which allows it to bypass the gastric acid. This H.pylori infection typically happens from contaminated food or water, poor sanitation, and crowded living conditions. Research has shown that diets which are very high in refined carbs, processed grains, meats, and sugars, they increase the risk of H.pylori infection manyfold. And diets which are rich in fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, and seeds, they actually lower the risk of H.pylori. Per Ayurveda, the processes in the stomach and the small intestine, they are governed by the Pitta, which is the fiery elemental energy which regulates digestion, and the Kapha, which is the earthy bioenergy that maintains a healthy mucus lining of the stomach. Symptoms of imbalance in these two bioenergies are excessive heartburn, acidity, sour taste, excessive belching, and upper abdominal pain. So imbalance of your upper GI tract, it can be easily managed by small changes in your diet, in your environment, and general habits. To reduce hyperacidity from a hyperactive Pitta, you want to add some cold and cooling foods like cucumbers, squashes, zucchini, winter melon, lettuce, celery, green beans, coconut water, and sweet fruits like peaches, pears, persimmons, honeydew melons, cantaloupe melons. Very sour and citrusy foods will worsen the Pitta, and these include tomatoes, ketchup, chipotle sauces, vinegar, and tamarind. Fermented foods like yogurt, alcohol, cheese, soy sauce, barbecue sauces will also worsen this. Very spicy and salty foods with green chilies, red chilies, and caffeinated drinks will also aggravate the Pitta. To balance the Kapha bioenergy and improve the quality of the mucus lining, it's important to add some ghee or butter. Avocado for breakfast is a perfect start for people who have hyperacidity symptoms. Honey is an important ingredient which helps in bringing both these energies into balance, and warm ginger honey tea taken about 20 minutes after a meal will help with your symptoms. Herbs like ginger, coriander, black pepper, mint, and fennel, they also help in the digestion process and in balancing these energies. The best way to prepare these herbs is by preparing an Indian style seasoning by adding 1 or 2 tablespoons of ghee to a pan, and then you add 1 teaspoon only of each of these herbs to that ghee, and then you can use that ghee to spice your soups, your lentils, or you can just use it to stir fry your vegetables or cooked rice. The next step in the digestive process is the passage of this acidic chyme down to the first part of the small intestine, which is called the duodenum. The pancreas releases its alkaline digestive enzymes into the duodenum, and the bile from the liver also flows here. So addition of these alkaline juices and enzymes to this acidic chyme, they help in complete breakdown of proteins into smaller peptide molecules, breakdown of sugars into simpler glucose and fructose, and in breakdown of large fat globules into smaller free fatty acids and small size monoglyceride particles. The absorption of all of these nutrients, it happens in the duodenum and in the small intestine, along with absorption of water, minerals, vitamins, and salts. Lactase enzyme that we are all familiar with is produced by the small intestinal cells. It breaks down the lactose sugar in the dairy products into absorbable glucose and galactose. For those who do not have enough of this enzyme, the undigested lactose sugar passes down to the large colon undigested, and it allows the bacteria there to have a big party while you roll around with moans and groans. Irritable bowel syndrome is another common issue of the small intestines. This tends to affect college-going students and older people more. Symptoms include abdominal pain, discomfort after eating with altered bowel habits, often with diarrhea, constipation, and both. Stress, anxiety, irregular eating habits, irregular sleep, all of these makes the symptoms worse. No particular causative factor has been identified for this by the modern medicine. But per Ayurveda, this is the typical Vata disorder, or a disorder where proper flow of air energies along the body's meridians or nadis is blocked. With certain dietary changes, this can be easily fixed, and we will go over those later in this video. So after majority of nutrients are absorbed in the small intestine, the leftover then passes into the large colon. So the large colon serves three functions. The first one is absorption of water and leftover salts. The second one is production of new vitamins by the bacterial action and then absorbing them. So vitamin A, the Brie group of vitamins, including biotin, they are produced by colon bacteria. So if you are suffering from early graying of hair or hair fall, it may partly be due to an imbalance in your gut microbiome. This commonly happens after a course of prolonged antibiotics and chemotherapy. Addition of some probiotics at this time would probably help reduce your hair loss symptoms. Sometimes the antibiotics may be hidden inside your regular food products, especially animal products like milk, meats, and cheese. Excessive use of disinfectants and detergents will also alter your gut microbiome, predisposing you to vitamin deficiencies. The third and the important function of the large colon is movement of solid food towards anal canal for final elimination. Now, per the Ayurvedic theory, the elimination processes of the colon and bladder, they are governed by a subtype of the Vata or the air bioenergy. This is called Apana Vayu, and this is located in the lower abdominal area, and it regulates your bowel and bladder evacuation. Disturbance of Apana Vayu, this can cause diarrhea, bloating, constipation, and incomplete bladder evacuation and bladder issues. It is also associated with lower back pains and colicky, lower abdominal pain. The easiest fix for this is an increase in your daily citrus fruit intake, and eat more of tart pineapples, grapes, oranges, limes, tamarind, and also increasing the lubricant intake like ghee and butter. As mentioned before, the Indian seasoning prepared with ghee and herbs like ginger, coriander, black pepper, mint, and fennel, they help both with the digestive processes and with balancing all the three bioenergies. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and it gave you a clearer insight into the digestive processes and ideal foods for certain gut conditions. In our next video, we will discuss the role of liver and bile in fat metabolism and in cleansing of blood. And in the third video, we will explore how the kidneys and the lungs, they work together to eliminate the body's acids and maintain normal blood chemistries. Please don't forget to subscribe for more physiology and Ayurveda related content. Thank you so much for watching this video. See you next time.